Hey guys, it's Pastor Bruce. I'm sitting here outside my house this afternoon, and if it looks a little bit odd, I'll explain that in a minute or two. We're in Matthew chapter 9 today, which continues a narrative of Jesus working miracles. But what we start to see develop in this chapter is a growing resistance to Jesus and his work. The Jewish leaders call him a blasphemer and say that he's working with demons. The people laugh at him who are mourning for the little girl when Jesus says that she's not dead but only sleeping. And the Pharisees criticize Jesus for spending time with tax collectors and quote-unquote sinners. But Jesus' response to this criticism is a lesson for you and me today. He tells the Pharisees that you can't sew a new piece of cloth into an old garment, and you can't put new wine into an old wineskin. His point here is that we need to be flexible, especially when it comes to God's work. You know, human nature is that when somebody's doing something different or daring, we oftentimes become uncomfortable and will criticize. But guys, God is always daring and new and novel. God is not likely to always do things exactly the same way. The problem for us as Christians oftentimes is that we become so comfortable with tradition and the way things have been done in the past that we're not very flexible. And we end up being like this house behind me. You see, there had been some rotting in this house to the point that it had settled. But I had done some work inside, not realizing that. And so when we finally corrected the outside of the house, it caused problems with some of the new work that I had done. There had been some cracks that had developed and some pulls and yanks inside that now I've got to redo, unfortunately. And guys, that's the problem when we become inflexible. Anything that God is wanting to do to our old traditions starts to cause cracks and creaks. Instead, we need to be able to roll with God and understand that He may do something different today than we've ever seen. He may use somebody that we would never think of using. He may decide to take something that we've used for some other purpose and repurpose it for His glory and His honor. We've got to be flexible. We've got to understand that while we may be comfortable with a certain style of music, a certain way of talking or attending church or interacting with the people around us, that God may have an entirely different way of doing it in order to be able to reach new people. So I encourage you, be flexible. Don't get rigid. Allow God to work in and through you however He wants without us getting too uncomfortable about it. God bless.